Alright, excellent. So I'm doing pretty good. I wish this had, Spice of Life. I've really grown attached to Spice of Life. Which did we... I think Agrarian Skies had it, but no, not really. It had Hunger Overhaul, I think, which showed you how much hunger each thing filled, plus saturation. But a Spice of Life actually has a checkerboard behind the food that fills up, and once it reaches here, it takes a hunger, and then it resets, so it tells you how much hunger you're generating. And also, it makes all of the food start punishing you if you eat it the same thing over and over again. Because, if you eat carrots or something for the rest of your life, it's going to be pretty sad. I mean, you'll probably do it, but eventually you're just going to throw up or something because you're just going to be like, screw carrots. And that's not what you want to do. You don't want to retaliate against your food. That's not something that's good. So it makes you have a varied diet, which is really nice. And if I've been thinking about possibly trying to make my own mod pack because I think it'd be cool, but I really have to get engaged, and I'm not sure if I want to or not. I don't know if I want to go through the debugging of fixing mod packs together and trying to understand how I should do it, because there's a specific way to get them put onto FTB as well. I mean, I could release it as my own, I'm sure, but I don't really know the process of it, But I have a concept of making something, and I'll think more on it. I don't know. But like if I make my own, I'm definitely going to put Spice of Life in, and I'm going to make it pretty hard, because with Pam's mod included, you can make like literally 1,000 different food things, and you'll just eat. You can eat each one of them once a day or so, and there's no punishment for that, and it really brings in variety, and it makes food a focus of your normal life. Holy hell, 4 of them. So it's really nice to have that, and it would be nice to have here because then you'd have to build what was it, a hydroponics bay or so? You'd have to build an area where this might be hot. Nope. You'd have to build an area where you can actually grow a bunch of crops or something. I don't think I can mine this. It's not really telling me. Also, I hadn't realized it until now, but the mod is missing its background. Is it 1 do I want? I don't think so. We'll try 1. I think that's just going to hide it though. No, I don't want that. 0. Aspect, HUD position alpha. No, that's making it gray. I don't want to do that. I can't see. See, the thing is, there should be a purple around it, but there's not, because it's real hard to read without. But I don't seem to be able to adjust that. No idea. Oh well, what are you gonna do? I'll just have to put up with it. There's probably something to fix. I don't really know. Like I said, there's some small issues here. Oh, I dropped a can. For one, F7 should be the bunch of X's or so, the red X's and yellow X's from NEI, but it's not working, and I don't quite know why. And I think the chunks renderer, so there's the chunks lines, these lines, and then the grid. That's NEI telling me about the chunks. So obviously the overlay for that works. I don't know why the X's don't. And then the blue square is actually another mod entirely to deal with chunks as well. I don't know how optimized this mod pack is, but it's doing something, I guess. So, sure. I got no problem with that. Alright, so I guess I want to make a sieve. I'm going to need silk, though. We need special trees then. See, about starting on Earth and stuff like that, like, I would come here and I'd bring... I don't know if I'd play it or not the way I would think of, because the thing is, I don't like that trees grow in the moon atmosphere. Like, it kills the immersion, you know? It would be nice to, have to put these underneath oxygen or something. Or at least some container. Rather than the way it is right now, which is nothing. But, you know, what are you going to do? Alright, so this is probably good. I guess put you here, there, and there. It's probably good. And I just let them do whatever they're doing, and that's good. How much does it take to make a sieve? Of course it does. Of course it does. That's going to take too much. I have enough for 1 1/9. So that's not very good. Alright, well, I guess that's done for now. 20 turf. Okay. I don't want to destroy my house over here, so I'm going to run over here and mine some dirt. If I can avoid ruining the landscape, I'm going to try to. Alright, collect a bunch of turf. I mean, I could just put it back down, I suppose, but I would like to keep it, seeing as I do need building materials. I'm not sure what the, I'm not sure what we're gonna do right now. Like, I'm on the moon. Where do I go from here, you know? Like, I don't think going to Mars is particularly strategical. But, you know, can I get back to Earth? Also, it's a different part of Earth, seemingly. Because usually it's of just America, but I think that's actually all of the world. I think it's missing South Antarctica, was it? I believe. I really don't know too much about the map. Mostly because I kind of don't care. I mean, I'm not going to go to the South Pole anytime soon. I know there's a South Pole. That's all I know. That's good enough, I think, for me. So that's going to take a while. Oh, it gets turf. Go! A creeper. I totally want that. That's what I want. Will it make an advanced creeper, or is it just a creeper? I don't know. You know, some things we'll never know. I could use some chests. Alright, we've got a chest. Still haven't sorted out what I want to do with everything still. Just like testing sounds, because I know like half of them are missing and it bothers me. Just I'm not sure what I want to get rid of exactly. I suppose seeds. I do have a problem right now, I just realized. How am I going to grow these seeds? I don't have any water. Also, it's a little unrealistic that water wouldn't evaporate if it doesn't, because I don't think it will. Like, my problem with Galacticraft, to some degree, is really that it doesn't play the realistic role very well. You know? Like, these things shouldn't live out here. It doesn't make sense. I should come up here with a stock of oxygen. You know, like, carrying, like, chestfuls of oxygen. And build a structure and then pump oxygen into that structure. And displace the moon atmosphere. And then, after doing that, I should move into it, and then build an airlock. So there should be an airlock. I should come up here basically with enough to build a small station, an airlock, and an oxygenation facility. Right? So maybe a few saplings or shrubs or something, because you really don't need anything. You just need the leaves. So, I bring a bunch of leaves and some logs to keep the leaves alive. Enough for this hole, an oxygen creator, and a few tanks of oxygen to fill the room. If not momentarily, just click the top of it and have it just release air into the sky. That's good enough for me. It doesn't have to be too complicated. And then an airlock mechanism to get outside. And then once you're outside, resources or something so that you can actually build onto it. Or something like that. Because the idea of trees being your start off in a world where there's no oxygen to generate oxygen, it's just it's so game breaking, And it's quite disappointing. There you go. Alright. And so, I don't know. It's unfortunate. Actually, I want to keep that on me. It just kind of defeats some of it. Because I really would like to... I love the concept. This is one of the reasons why I love Galacticraft so far, or at least the idea of it, is the concept of suffocating out here because there's no atmosphere, and creating a more habitable world as you go out. What is it? If you were underwater, it's like building an underwater station. If the water weren't in your way, because the thing is, this is air that has some sort of weird rules to it, so it works like water in that it's covered the field, but you can actually build a pocket and instantly delete the interior. So, you can actually do a real good job of playing the suffocating underwater role, versus in normal, where you would just fill in, you'd build the shell, and then the interior would just be full of water, and you'd be like, I've got to fill in this entire place so that I can have an empty spot of oxygen in this underground water facility. So the bits of moon will have resources. Oh, yes, the string. Okay, it's pretty much ready to go. So seeing as how I like that mechanic, I want to see it worked with, but there are some struggles. I suppose if I really wanted to, I could just put in my own rules. There's nothing stopping me from doing that, I guess. Where I just say, oh, well, I've made it to another world. I have to build a facility before I can breathe. I could just completely avoid trees. For the most part. I can't really avoid it right now, but I'll have to maybe... Well, it could tell me how much it's infested. Interesting. But I can maybe, kind of enforce some rules on myself, I need to build a facility for these trees to grow in from something. Once I start getting materials to actually start building a base, I can expand this a bit, and then start adding in facilities for these, rather than having them out in space. I'll put a double airlock in, and maybe start stressing the idea of not going outside. There's a bubble generator in Galacticraft that allows you to put a bubble of air out into space, which of course makes absolutely no sense, because it's two different pressure systems and stuff. It doesn't really make sense. That's like popping a bubble in your Coke or something, and the entire Coke bottle just emptying instantly. It doesn't really make sense, You can't displace this small amount of space and just act like it is something... that's probably a terrible analogy. It just doesn't make sense, because there's no such thing as having bubbles in this kind of an area. I suppose you could have a drift of sort. No, it just wouldn't work. They're two massively different pressures. If you put an air bubble in here, it would immediately explode, because there's too little pressure outside of it to keep it concealed. Unless you produced enough oxygen to, like, I suppose fill a massive section of the moon. So, like, if you made a small bubble like that big, it would fail immediately because it would spread outward. But if you made a bubble that was, say, 1,000 times as big as this building here, then maybe the center would be more habitable, but the outsides would be always at war with the different pressures. I don't really know. I don't even remotely know what kind of things would happen at that point because it's far too large, too much of a large scale. Could you imagine just like instantly making the moon oxygenated by just flooding it with oxygen all around it? Like, that doesn't really... You can't theorize that. Because you'd have to take into account what would be pushed out. I'm trying to think of what the sieve probably is like. It's probably like this. Yep. You got to think of like what's going to be displaced because you're pushing the atmosphere that's here outward. So where does that go? You know, and I suppose most of the time it wouldn't go much of anywhere. But you know, you can't just make the atmosphere disappear. It doesn't make sense. I got a greater one. I don't know who Paul is. I don't think I want to spawn that. Of course, I can't see any spawn things. Well, whatever. I don't know why they hide those things from me, because it doesn't matter to me. Whatever. I will spawn that when I feel safer about it, which is probably about never. I don't know what this bar here is. I don't know what that is. Is that height level or something? No, it can't be height level. Maybe it'll do something with sealed areas or something. I don't know. I'm not sure what that thing on the left does. Because it doesn't change so far. Okay, well, I've got a sieve. I could do whatever I want with that. So let's sieve some moon dirt. Not terribly useful stuff. Wait a minute. Can I use sieve recipes? So I can sieve stone, Mars, Venus, bunch of things, some dust and whatnot. So there's your ores. I'll have to make a dusting facility eventually, I'm sure. So it seems pretty generic. Moon dirt is all your seeds and stuff, so I want to do something with that eventually, I suppose. And it will give me stone, so I can generate stone from that. I'll need that for lava at some point, because I need lava, I'm sure. Okay. Alright, well I think this will give me stone too, won't it? No idea. So we're back to the game of sifting. I really do miss the Gray Skies to some degree. Like, the thing is it was a great mod pack. I think it was literally, like, one of the best mod packs I've ever played. I mean, they didn't inflate the numbers. They didn't make the game, like, brutally difficult. It was such a highly, mechanical mod. You know, like, there was piping systems all over the place. I loved it. It was such a good mod pack. And I've had a hard time finding any that are up to par with that recently. I think... I don't know. It's tough. There's not really any amazing ones. I've played a few good ones, like Hubris is a good map, a mod pack, because it's heavy on magic. So if you're going for a magical playthrough or whatnot, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and it wasn't so bad. But I love mechanical, so I want to go more tech if I can, with pipes and stuff, but there's not an awful lot of those. Because I like the idea of building a factory of some sort, but there's never really any good reasonings to build a factory. Like, what are you going to do with a factory? It's not like you really need a whole bunch of resources all the time, or all of those resources being generated all the time. So, yeah. Can I do anything with this other than... No. I don't really need a sieve so much. I should probably stop sieving. I'm overdoing it. Okay, well those gave me a few things I kind of wanted. Oh my god, Sipska. There was a note in your father's book. It said, moon dirt equals stone. Whatever this means. Whatever that means. Oh yeah, whatever that means. But it looks like something you should try. Sure, why not? Hey, iron. I'll probably want to break into, Mine Chem at some point. There it is. That's a good point, actually. I hadn't thought about it, but, the other facility had 2 rows of sand for growing stuff, a basement with a power core like this, and up top it had a bed. I miss a bed now, but it wasn't very useful. But it also had a microscope on it already. So, that's actually quite an advancement. But, whatever. I guess I don't need it. But, what I want to do is probably make a chemical synthesizer and decomposer. Like, these are the most important things. So if you get a chemical synthesizer, I could take iron, the Fe, so the actual element, and turn it into iron by just synthesizing. So 16 of that to an actual bar. So this is a good way to generate materials. It's not the best in the world. I've had a mod pack that really dedicated all of your time to generating materials like that. And it wasn't the greatest idea, but it was interesting. So it's a nice little kind of supplement to your normal mining procedures. But it really shouldn't kind of take dominance. Like, having world ores is really useful, or having a sieve that can turn them into something useful is good. But, Chop down trees. Oh, shouldn't have stopped so early. Oh no, don't do that. I'm afraid of tree capitator around this area. I don't really want to obliterate the area. I think I'm okay to do it for this. Let's try. See, I think it destroyed some leaves over here. So I don't want to do that. Or maybe it's just a particle of dirt. I don't know. All I know is I gotta be careful around this because I don't want to destroy it entirely. Okay. Everything looks pretty good. It's quite the task, though. I don't really know if I want to do that. Sucrose. I can make some sugar cane, I think, with that. More leaves. I'd need to shear those, so I need iron. Coal blocks. I need to produce those. Dye. Don't feel like doing that. Backup power. Stars. A brilliant way of powering things, but will probably explode when depleted. I don't know how true that is. I think that's not enabled yet. Don't you think it's about time you started to make a safer power source? But even if you manage to get a non-exploding star, it won't there's a non-exploding star? Coal generator, Stirling. Coal generator or Stirling? Stirling or coal? I think Stirling. because the sterling is from Ender IO, so I can upgrade it. And it'll take lava as well, so probably want to go for that one. But I need coal. I need 10 of each. And I also should keep an eye on this, because the last thing I want is for this to run out of power. I mean, it's still got 24 million RF left in the sun. I don't know if it just drains itself all the time. I don't think it does. But I want to keep an eye on it, because I don't know what'll happen when it does drain completely, and I don't want that happening in my base, because that would be bad. If it does explode, for sure. Do I have any uses for gravel? I mean, I guess for flint, which I've already gotten from something else, so... Temporary lack of presence. Interesting. This also has RF tools. I've played a mod pack that was fairly heavy on RF tools. I'm okay with it as a mod, but it reminds me of Mistcraft, but a little bit crappier in a way. I'm not quite sure how to explain it. It's got its own little aspects that are cool, but I'm not too sure I'm heavy on wanting to play with it. But it's okay. In its own respect. I'll destroy all this gravel. I really don't need gravel on me. I suppose I don't need the materials that come out of this gravel too much either, though. I don't care, though. I'm doing them anyway. Done. Useless stuff. I got coal. I kind of need more of that. That's some dark witchcraft right there. Sieving moonrock. Or gravel. Okay. Moonrock. I don't... Oh, interesting. Alright then. So it looks like I'm in a bit of a long haul now. Till I sort out what to do overall. It's mind chem, more power. So there's the generator. Oh, look at that. Even I need this generator for oh, it's a craft one though, so I can't do that. Yeah, I don't want to. That's going to be a tough one because that one requires a nether star, I believe. It's all going to be very interesting. I need to make coal. That's all there is to it. So I need gravel. I get gravel from gravelly stuff. I need to generate cobblestone. That's what I need to do. So how will I do that? There's no extruder, because this doesn't have thermal expansion. I don't know how to make lava. There's no crafting recipe. That's not good. Because that means I don't really have a way to get any lava if there's none on the planet. And I don't think that the moon has lava. I mean, I could be wrong. No, I'm not wrong. I'm pretty sure the moon's a very much dead planet. So, I kind of can't get that. So I need to get lava from something. Perhaps this is where Minechem might come in. However, I don't know where I'd get silicon and oxygen. Um. Hmm. Well, silicon might come from some of the moon turf. If I look into the right stuff. I don't know, actually. I don't know if those... I don't think any of these have silicon in them. It's phosphorus. Yeah, that makes sense. Sand would have silicon. But that requires cobblestone. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I got to figure out the actual tree of resources I should be building upon. So we'll see.